Hello, BookTube. Cheers. I thought I'd do a little mail haul for you. Just a few packages here. First two are fairly slim. Can't always hold out great hope for fairly slim books. But let's see. Let's see what we have here. Okay, the first one is an award winner. This is by Chetla Sabri. And it is a paperback original. Is that going to be? This comes out on June the 1st as a paperback original. This is Field Study. That's a graceful looking thing, don't you think? Chetla Sabri is the director of the Stadler Center of Poetry and Literary Arts at Bucknell University and the author of Mistress. And her poetry has appeared in the Kenyon Review, Guernica, Pleiades, and other publications. And this is a book-length prose poem of love, heartbreak, womanhood, black womanhood, art, sex, and pop culture. And it announces Sabri as one of the most exciting and innovative poets writing today. So is this actually just one whole book of poetry? Yes, it is. You'll notice that the book doesn't actually have any poetry in it. It's more of a collection of journal entries. Could still be very interesting. This book won the 2020 James Laughlin Award from the Academy of American Poets. So they must be giving that award, they must be including that award in journal entries and apothegms and whatnot. Poetry is verse. And this is not obviously verse. This is a little odd thing there. I'll have to read. I don't know anything about this author. I'll have to read up on why they would mislabel it like that, or maybe the author has an introduction where she makes a special case for why her maxim jottings actually count as poetry. I don't know. Well, I'll find out and I'll report back. This next one is also thin. Hard to believe it'll be another slim volume of, well, I can't actually call it a slim volume of poetry, right? Because there wasn't any poetry in it. But what have we got here? Oh, all right. This is the New York Review of Books. New York Review of Books has a line of books that they come out with. They have New York Review of Books classics that sometimes appeal to me, usually not, and then a bunch of other stuff that they do. They God bless them. They pour a lot of time, and effort into being a publisher, and that's just fantastic. So this is by Joshua Cohen, whose name is awful familiar to me. Why are you familiar to me? Why are you familiar to me? No, I don't want to know. I want to know why you're familiar to me. Joshua Cohen was born in 1980 in Atlantic City. His books include the novels Moving Kings, which I read and liked, The Book of Numbers, which I read and liked, Wits. Wits is the book I know him for. Brilliant book. Brilliant. Okay, all right, so this author's written a lot of things that I like, and this is a new thing called The Netanyahus, an account of a minor and ultimately even negligible episode in the history of a very famous family. That's the subtitle. Joshua Cohen's new novel is a trenchant, tragic, and unexpectedly uproarious trip through a negligible episode in the life of Israel's first family, the Netanyahus. A genre-bending mix of campus novel and historical fiction, the Netanyahus imagines the 1959 arrival of the Netanyahu family at Corbin College, a stand-in for Cornell, in upstate New York. Okay. All right. This book pays tribute to the prodigious literary critic Harold Bloom. Before the critic's death in 2019, Cohen periodically visited him in his New Haven home. He was always having a pilgrimage of people to that home. He was instantly, voraciously, intellectually curious till the last minute. As detailed in the final chapter, the novel was inspired by one of the last stories Bloom ever told him, of the time Bloom himself was tasked with giving a messy camp tour to Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, all right, I'm on board already. That sounds fascinating. This all sounds fascinating. So let me give you some useful information here. This is going to be just a $17 paperback when it comes out. You don't have to suffer hardcover prices. And I can tell you already, Joshua Cohen is worth it. He's worth you passing up 2 cafe lattes with cinnamon shavings at Starbucks in order to buy this book. And it comes out at the end of June. It comes out in June the 22nd. So it's right in my wheelhouse to read right away. And I want to, because this is an author who's never put a foot wrong for me. And then we have this last package, and then we'll be done. We've got 2 books in here. So this is going to be a 4-book thing, even though there are only 3 packages. Oh, great. Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, the first one we're going to do here is Aminatta Forna. Aminatta Forna is, like Joshua Cohen, extremely talented, an author who's never put a foot wrong with me. And this is The Window Seat, Notes from a Life in Motion. We have no pub sheet here, but let's see what we have here. Aminatta Forna is one of our most important literary voices, and her novels have won the Wyndham Campbell Prize and the Commonwealth Writers' Prize for Best Book. In this elegantly rendered and widely ranging collection of essays, Forna writes intimately about displacement, trauma, memory, love, and how we coexist and encroach on the non-human world. Okay, so let's take a look at the table of contents so you see something of what you're getting into here. There's an essay called The Window Seat. There's an essay called In Timbuktu. There's one called How Stories Get Told. There's one about power walking. There's one called What If You Gave an Inauguration and Nobody Came? And there's one called Obama and the Renaissance Generation, which I feel like I've read already. Okay, so this is an author writing in a nonfiction mode. Fantastic. And then we have this thing. This is going to be fun. This is going to be very enjoyable. Talk about another. This is just a list of authors who have great credit with me. This is Helen Scales, who did, let me show you, Eye of the Shoal, a fishwatcher's guide to life, the ocean, and everything. Eye of the Shoal, she's written other things, but Eye of the Shoal was spectacularly good. So again, her credit could not be higher with me. And this is her new book, which I believe comes out, let's see. Oh, this has a pub sheet. Okay, fantastic. Great. This is the book, The Brilliant Abyss. So I should show you that, shouldn't I? The Brilliant Abyss, exploring the majestic hidden life of the deep ocean and the looming threat that imperils it. So this is due, I feel certain this is a July book. Is that right? Yes, July 19th. I will be reviewing this book, and I'm very happy to report that. And what we'll do here is try and find a description. Okay, there we go. There's a description. Although the subtitles sort of give you the description. The golden era of deep sea discovery is underway. Revolutionary studies in the deep are rewriting the very notion of life on Earth and the rules of what is possible. In the process, the abyss is being revealed as perhaps the most amazing part of our planet, with a topography even more varied and extreme than its earthbound counterpart. Teeming with unsuspected life, an extraordinarily interconnected ecosystem deep below the waves has a huge effect on our daily lives, influencing climate and weather systems worldwide. Currently, the fantastic creatures that live in the deep, many of them iridescent in a world without light. And its formation trap vast quantities of carbon that would otherwise poison our atmosphere. And novel bacteria, as yet undiscovered, hold the promise of potent new medicines. Yet the deep also contains huge mineral riches lusted after by many nations and corporations. Mining them could ultimately devastate the planet, compounding the deepening impacts of the ubiquitous pollutants and rampant overfishing. This is going to be, obviously you can tell from that, it's going to be a grim story, but beautifully written. You're going to get your bad news in the best possible format here. So, I haven't read this book yet. I will read it. I will be reviewing it. But I think I can already recommend both of these, right? I mean, they're both, maybe not. It could be that the author makes a misstep, but boy, oh boy, these authors are in good standing with me, and Joshua Cohen can do no wrong. Unless the Netanyahus is the most self-indulgent piece of poop in the world, then I'm going to enjoy these. This is neat, because this is a haul of books here, most of which I already know, almost to a certainty that I'm going to enjoy, unless the author has a bad mood, puts a foot badly wrong. Otherwise, I know that I'm going to enjoy large chunks of these 3 books. And then there's field study, and we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what that author does. A totally new author to me, but an author that others have had high opinions of. So likely I will see some of that accomplishment. We shall see. I have been known to disagree with my critical brethren. One way or another, I will report back. I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, Book 2.